Yeah, so the place Danny and Elton told us about is like right around the corner.
Okay.
It should be a couple of blocks. And then,
Oh Lord. Nah, we good.
you sure you don't want to go?
Nah, we got some spaghetti in there.
Welcome back.
Hi everybody, welcome to Chris and Jackie, or Jackie and Chris, since I am the one introing us right now. We hope you guys are doing well, and we hope you are enjoying our content. Please, please, please let us know. Give us some good feedback, some constructive criticisms and all that good stuff. Subscribe and like and comment. Yes.
And even if you don't give us constructive criticism, I'll feel free to block and delete your comment.
It's
fine.
Hot minute.
We just want you to say something. The algorithm will still count the message. It's all right.
We don't. We ain't that pressure on, I promise you. But you know we are living in San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, Mexico. And we just want to actually talk about specifics of San Miguel.
And specifically, why you shouldn't come here.
Yeah. We're going to do 3.
Even though we live here and we've already said it's a great place to live.
It is.
But depending on your situation, it may not be a great place to live for you.
Correct. And we just want to throw it out there to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've seen any content on San Miguel, the first thing anybody will tell you is wear comfortable shoes. But that doesn't tell the whole story.
Correct. My God.
Yes, you need comfortable shoes. Yes, you need to have some physical fitness. Yes, you need to have a good, decently strong heart. You're gonna have to have some fortitude.
Oh my Lord.
And a can-do attitude.
What?
Because you're gonna come up to some hills.
What?
And you're gonna say, I can't do that.
You like, I'm out.
You're gonna have a bad attitude for the rest of the day.
What?
You're gonna look up to go somewhere. I'm gonna walk. This 10-minute walk. Cool. Google Maps don't tell you what the hills look like.
And literally, because we're in a mountain, a lot of Mexico is mountainous.
Yes, it is.
So it could be slightly inclined to almost vertical.
Feels like you're climbing up the side of a mountain. Because you are.
Because it's a mountain.
But there is a low key. Here's a quick. What do they call them? Life hacks. Do your Google map, and instead of setting it to walk, set it to bike, and it'll actually show you the incline of the street if you set it to bike. I'm not sure why they don't do that for walking. Like, nobody wants to walk up a hill either or bike up a hill.
Babe, you never told me that.
I'm pretty sure I
did. Set it to bike?
Yes.
For the whole record, y'all, he's telling me the same time he's telling y'all.
Lies. Just because you don't remember doesn't mean I didn't tell you.
Noted. It is so noted.
It is very noted that you don't remember.
Anyway.
But yes, it is a physically demanding city if you are walking. If you have a car, it is physically demanding on your car. Seriously.
We talked about in another episode, the cobblestones here are no joke. And they will tear up your car. What would the driver say? They're in the mechanic shop, at least 1 to 3 every 1 to 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Shocks and what's other stuff for cars? Shocks, brakes.
Yeah, probably shocks, brakes, struts. I don't know.
Struts.
I'm not a mechanic guy either. I know. Because several times we ride in the cab and it goes up over the speed bump and it bottoms out as soon as it hits the bottom. Because guess what? The cab driver is not paying to get his shocks fixed just yet.
What?
He's going to wait for a little bit.
It's no joke.
So
the physicality of the city, that would be number 1 for sure.
Number 1.
And this is something that we experience. It's so interesting. It's not necessarily that you have a physical impairment. Remember meeting Sunday and his family?
Yes.
So we met, and their families obviously live here, babies and children. But if you want to rock a stroller, it's going to be a situation. It's very, very bumpy.
It's bumpy, and the sidewalks are very narrow.
That's true.
So, like, if you have a stroller and you're rolling around, your stroller might not even fit on the sidewalk, depending on where you are in the city.
Yeah, so you got to be mindful of just things like that. And then, of course, if you're physically challenged, if you do have a hard time walking, right? Or if you have, since you mentioned the heart, we're on a mountain. So higher elevations.
We are higher than Denver, Colorado. And people think Mile High City, that's super high. We are higher than that.
So you have to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So bad backs, bad knees, bad feet. If you need any kind of rolling apparatus.
Yeah, Mexico in general doesn't have the same sort of accessibility guidelines written into law like we have in the U.S., where you have to have, ramps and wide bathrooms and all that. So, like, if you're in a wheelchair, it's a really rough country in general.
They're there, but they're just few and far between.
Yeah, if you're in a bigger city, in Mexico City, Guadalajara, they probably have more accommodations than, a small town like this.
That's
But,
true.
Yeah. And again, that brings us to our second point of why you may not want to be here. It's a small town. It may feel like a big town sometimes.
Muy poquito.
There's always a lot of entertainment going on. There is probably more restaurants here per capita than a lot of places. But it's still a very small town.
Like instead of a mall, we have a shopping center.
Right.
Instead of a super Walmart or Target, we have La Comer.
We have La Comer. We have Bodega Herrera, which is sort of the Spanish version of Walmart. I think Walmart bought them out at some point. But yeah, it's not the same selection. It's not. If you need a plethora of doctors, there's a lot of doctors here. But if you need a particular specialist, they may not be here. They may be in a bigger city like Querétaro
or Mexico City.
Yeah. A lot of things like I buy cameras or electrical equipment or things like that, electronic equipment. And that stuff is harder to find here. You can find it more in the bigger cities, but we have, department stores like Coppel and Electra, but they're in the historical center, which means you can't have a big sprawling store. It's going to be stuffed into some smaller building. Half the stuff they have won't even really be available. You got to get it delivered to your house. For some reason, Electra stuffs 6 motorbikes into their floor.
If you need a scooter.
Right. So you can go in one store and buy a scooter, a motorbike, a dryer, an office chair, a desk. But it's like 1 or 2 options of each, except for motorbikes. There's 6 motorbikes.
You better know it.
So yeah, you're in a small town. Just think about if you live in a small town anywhere, your options are always going to be a little bit limited. You're not going to have those same luxuries that you may have in a bigger town, those amenities.
And so I want to make sure they know. All right, so stay with me here. Small town, no high rises, no subways.
Yeah, I think the tallest building I've seen is maybe 4 floors. And I know a lot of that is, depending on what part of the city you're in, is dictated by law. You can't build above a certain height.
Because it obstructs the view.
The views are a big deal here. They're moneymakers here. You can't block out the views.
Correct. Yeah. No subway systems. What else?
The bus system.
It works.
It works, but it's not well documented at all. It seems to kind of just come when it comes.
There's some kind of regularity,
I guess.
However,
but if it's not documented, how do you know the regularity of it?
You got to get immersed in the culture.
You go to a lot of cities and you got the little, kiosk or whatever with little bus route maps and things like that, or you can go to the website and see the bus routes.
Something like that, yeah.
That does not exist. There's literally Facebook groups that have, personally just put together these maps of buses. They'll hop on the bus and track it with their phone so they can get the route. You kind of have to make it happen. It's the hustle mentality of Mexico. Like, you're not going to tell me where the bus go? Okay, I'll figure out where it goes then, you know.
But believe you me, the locals know.
The locals know because they've been here for sure.
Correct.
So yeah, small town vibes. Good for some people, bad for other people. And I think lastly on our list is
SMA is
a tourist destination.
Yep. For international and domestic visitors.
People think of it as Little America or whatever, and
no, it ain't.
No, it's not.
Having a Burger King and a Starbucks does not make you nobody's a little USA.
Not at all.
Ton of culture here.
And as a tourist destination, there are a ton of holidays that get celebrated here, and it's just a destination for a lot of Mexican holidays. So there's sort of the national holidays that go on, and also each little neighborhood here has its own festivals and celebrations. So there's literally almost always a parade going on. Every month you're going to have 2 or 3 parades.
Parade on parade.
For something.
And don't forget too, we're talking about, this is a mixture of indigenous and colonialized culture. Did I get that right? Colonialized.
I think that's right.
Colonialized.
Yeah.
I'm trying, y'all. So it's a mixture, right? So you have Mexican celebrations, but meaning that's the colonialized part, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the indigenous celebrations. And so, and then of course, the part of the colonization here was through Catholicism. So they'll have religious events because of the Catholic Church, and then they'll have religious events and other things here because of their indigenous communities. Indigenous culture. So it is a situation, and they like to celebrate with fireworks.
Yeah, welcome to Mexico.
Boom.
And also, like, as a tourist destination, things are always a little more expensive here. Because people come here to vacation, to have fun, to celebrate, and they're going to be used to spending more money. So again, if you're in that bubble, or if you're in Central Historico, things are going to be more expensive.
Correct.
Housing, food, I mean, the restaurant scene here is
bananas.
Crazy. It's, not much you can really compare to it. If you go to a big New York or a big Chicago, you'll probably have, maybe a little bit better restaurant scene, but barring that, like, this is a really great restaurant scene. But like all tourist destinations, there are the restaurants that are there just to make money. The food is crap. It's slop, and they're going to give you crap. But there's also the beautiful experiences that you can go and have in some of these places that is also expensive. So it could be hard to kind of tell, what from what, what's going to be a great place versus what's going to be just a money suck at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, a tourist environment, if you ever lived in a tourist town,
like a Myrtle Beach, you know what that would feel like.
Yeah.
People come here. There's a high season, low season, and you always got a ton of traffic when it's the high, So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So like Myrtle Beach is like, you see people walking around with the Myrtle Beach T-shirt, and they got the boogie board. Here it's like everybody has the fedora on. You can always tell the people that aren't from here because they're rocking the fedora through Centro. There's the guy who has the stack of 55 fedoras on his head, and he's selling them for what was it, 50 pesos, 200 pesos, something. And he's just out there clocking dollars all day. You gotta have your San Miguel fedora. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, some things to think about. If you don't want to live in this type of town in Mexico, tourism is a big deal. Maybe it's too much for you to handle. You don't want to pay the extra cost.
The infrastructure's
different. The physicality of the city, and just the fact that it's a smaller town, even though it may seem like it's a big, destination, is actually very small. It doesn't have all of the amenities and luxuries that you may expect from, a larger town where you may have come from. If you're in a, Charlotte, North Carolina, or you're in, DC, New York.
Forget about it.
Even if you look like Jackson, Mississippi, it's probably more. Probably more is there for you to come.
There's no shade on Jackson.
I mean,
it's more sort of kind of shade on SMA, but it's just the truth, guys.
Yeah.
The amenities are different. The living is different. We just want to let you know.
Yeah, we don't want to present just one side of the argument. Let's present both sides of the argument.
Correct.
And really, the fewer of you guys that come here, the lower the prices are.
Rude.
I mean, we'll talk about maybe that next time, some gentrification.
I wasn't expecting for him to say that.
I mean, look, sometimes you get here first and you don't want nobody to come behind you. You want to keep your
want to keep the secret to yourself.
This is my place now. I don't know.
But all are welcome.
All are welcome.
All are welcome, yeah. But just some things to think about, okay? We, again, just want to keep y'all safe. So, cuídate.
Like, comment, subscribe, watch another video. Peace, y'all.
Y'all have a great day.